How to customize Spring Boot Actuator SanitizingFunction /env Endpoint. Problem overview. When exposing environment properties via Spring Boot Actuators /env Endpoint, sensitive data such as URIs or passwords must be masked. Out of the box, Spring Boot applies default sanitization, but you may want to customize this behavior, for example, to mask every field containing the string URI. The challenge arises because simply defining a sanitizing function bean doesn't always apply to the /env endpoint as expected, particularly in Spring Boot 2.7.x. Understanding sanitizing function. Sanitizing function allows you to define custom sanitization logic. It receives sanitizable data including the key, value, and the source of the property. The functions are called in order until one changes the value. While your custom function might get called for /configprops endpoint, it might not affect /env data by default. Solution for Spring Boot 2.7.x. Configuration-based approach. Customize keys to sanitize in your application.yml. This instructs the actuator to mask these specific keys in /env. Programmatic customization. To apply a custom sanitizing function programmatically, declare your own environment endpoint bean injecting your function explicitly. Be careful to disable the default /env endpoint to prevent duplicate endpoint errors. In application.yml. And exclude auto-configuration in your main app. This avoids conflicts between the default and your custom endpoint. Solution for Spring Boot 3.4.x and later. Step 1. Enable Actuator endpoints and security. Configure Actuator endpoint exposure in application.yml. Allow Actuator endpoints in your security configuration. For testing, permit all. Step 2. Define a custom sanitizing function. Add this bean to a configuration class. This masks any property key containing URI with. Verification. Hit these endpoints to verify your masking takes effect. http://localhost 8080/actuator/env. http://localhost 8080/actuator/configprops. You should see masked values for the matching keys. Summary. Spring Boot 2.7 requires manual wiring of environment endpoint to customize sanitization effectively. Always disable the default /env endpoint when redefining it programmatically. Spring Boot 3.4 Plus simplifies this with configuration and custom sanitizing function beans. Use the keys to sanitize property in config for simple masking tasks. This approach helps you maintain control over sensitive data exposure in your actuator endpoints, enhancing application security and observability.